strikes. Face 17. It's 15 first strikes. Through it between 88 and 91. 33 fastballs, 24 curves, 4 changeups.
Carey's going to be here.
Middle. Bring it in.
Hi, Calvin Castine here from Olympic Stadium. And back of me we see the Montreal Expos in the batting cage, and waiting to step into the batting cage, the Chicago Cubs. Pete Regnier is here joining me on the camera. We appreciate Pete coming down with us today. He's recovering from a head-on collision with a tree during the winter months, and as you might expect, the tree got the best out of the bargain with it. But Pete's here and holding the camera, and hopefully by the end of the season he'll be able to jump in front of the camera and grab the mic and do some interviews. Cubs are in town. Second game of a 3-game home stand for the Cubs here. It's actually, I guess, about an 8-day home stand for the Expos. It was the first of a 3-game series with the Cubs involved. Last night, only 10,000 fans came out to enjoy the Expos and Cubs. And with Sammy Sosa here, you kind of makes you wonder what it's going to take to get the people to come out to the ballpark here at Olympic Stadium. Olympic Stadium, we kept track again today, as we often do. 45 minutes after we crossed the border, we were pulling into the parking lot. It was about 45 miles in about 45 minutes, so it's not that far away if you decide to come up here and enjoy the Expos. Sammy Sosa was voted the Player's Choice Player of the Season last year in Major League Baseball, according to Street and Smith's annual yearbook put out every March. The Player of the Decade, to probably no one's surprise, was Mr. Ken Griffey Jr., who's now in the National League also. So that got me thinking about how many Hall of Famers are going to be coming here to Olympic Stadium this year. And I'm not counting guys that are early in their career, like Vladimir Guerrero, who's 24 years old, and if he keeps doing what he's doing, will end up in the Hall of Fame someday. But I'm talking players that, if their career ended right now, would be sure things to make it to the Hall of Fame. Sammy Sosa, of course, is certainly on that list, number 21 out there for the Cubs, coming off seasons of 66 and 63 home runs. A remarkable back-to-back season, eclipsed only by of course, Mr. Mark McGwire. Sosa waiting to get into the batting cage. In the back there, talking to some of the Expos, is Vladimir Guerrero. Vladimir Guerrero, many people feel, is the potential of being the best player in the National League. Of course, Ken Griffey Jr. might have something to say about that, but last year, according to my memory, Guerrero had 42 home runs, hit about 316, and had about 131 runs batted in. So he had an outstanding season in 1999 at age 23. So coming back here at age 24, it looks like he could very easily be the Player of the Decade for the decade we are in here in the years of 2000. Ken Griffey Jr., as we said, was named as the Player's Choice Player of the Decade, according to Street and Smith. Maybe Pete can get a shot of it. We see Jim Beattie, the Expos general manager, over in the blue shirt, enjoying batting practice. We don't always often see Jim Beattie here. Looks like Pete's getting a little bit closer. Going to zoom in on Vladimir here. Vladimir Guerrero. You can see him in every home game. He just put that one there off the center field, over the center field wall, excuse me. And he's off to another good start, and Expos are looking for big things from Vladimir Guerrero. And here you had a shot with Sammy Sosa and Vladimir Guerrero, and 20, 25 years from now, shots like that will be collector's items. So we have Sammy Sosa, who's a future Hall of Famer. Then on the New York Mets, you've got Ricky Henderson. Henderson with about 1,334, I believe, stolen bases coming into the season, is actually 400 stolen bases ahead of his nearest rival, Lou Brock. I believe our camera's going to need a battery replacement, so we're going to take a break right here and give Pete's arm a rest. Okay, Guerrero is back in just for a moment. Oh, he's going to come back in and take one more swing and go down the left field line this time and bounce it off the wall. Ricky Henderson, as we said, the all-time leader in stolen bases. He is, I believe at this point, number 5 on the all-time list for runs scored. And if he gets, if memory serves me, 71 or 72 runs scored, it'll move him into second place. So he is in position to become the number 2 all-time leading scorer. And that could happen this year, or certainly if not this year, then certainly next year. Mark McGwire, as we said, is going to be here for the St. Louis Cardinals. McGwire has 4 super seasons in a row, 52 home runs, 58 home runs in a season when he split between Oakland and St. Louis. The 70 home run season of 1998, and of course 65 home runs last year. So he's coming off 4 consecutive years of 50 or more home runs. That's unprecedented in Major League history. I remember as a youngster looking at the stats from the 20s and 30s and thinking those were the good old days. But I think we're looking at the good old days right now as far as future generations go. The ball is sailing out of the ballpark, and the hitters are putting up some tremendous numbers out there. And unfortunately here in Montreal, the fans just aren't coming out to enjoy the ball game. So we got Mark McGwire, Ricky Henderson, Sammy Sosa, then Ken Griffey Jr., player of the decade last year, according to the Street and Smiths, as we said. Constant threat. Many people consider him to be the favorite to lead the National League in home runs this year. And Griffey Jr. earlier this year became the youngest player ever to hit number 400. He is 30 years old and already has 400 home runs under his belt. Pete's looking up toward the sky. Skies are always blue here in Montreal. I've noticed. We see the artificial cover up there, but a nice blue sky. And maybe just paint some clouds in there, maybe a big yellow ball that would rotate as the game went on. Tony Gwynn was here a couple of weeks ago, the second series of the season for the Expos. Tony Gwynn, of course, was right here in this ballpark when he hit his 3,000th hit last year, and Pete Regnier was here to capture that for Hometown Cable and got to his press conference after that. So Tony Gwynn, a certain Hall of Famer, he'll be back this year. Cal Ripken Jr., he's, excuse me, as we have a ball on the field. And Cal Ripken Jr. will be here with the Baltimore Orioles. And Ripken, not only is he an Iron Man, has played all those consecutive games, but he's also over the 3,000 hit mark now as of a week or two ago. And he's also way up there and getting higher up on the list every year when it comes to runs batted in. So he's had a remarkable season, another certain Hall of Famer when he hangs it up. Greg Maddux from the Atlanta Braves, certain Hall of Famer with the pitching credentials he has already. I believe he has about 221 wins coming into this season. The Yankees will be in town this year to face the Expos. That'll be in early June. Roger Clemens, a Hall of Famer there. He's got 247 wins, I believe. He is in a position to finish probably at least no worse than the top 5 when it comes to strikeouts for the career. So there you have it, 8 certain Hall of Famers who will be here in Olympic Stadium this year. And it's a shame when you get a player the caliber of Sammy Sosa and only 10,000 fans show up to see him. So hopefully the fans will come out and support the Expos this year and take advantage of the caliber of players who will be coming here during this year of 2000.
Sammy will be about this big in the shed.
Le premier but, first baseman, Stevens. Le receveur catcher, Chris Richard. Le troisième but, third baseman, Michael Barrett.